that CRD impacts. The forms in which CRD impacts is through the respiratory system, the nervous system, and then the digestive system. So Newcastle may present in three main forms: through the respiratory system, the nervous system, and then the digestive system. So with regards to the digestive system, that's the part where we all know that sometimes they will show greenish watery stools. That's with the digestive system. However, there is a respiratory and then a nervous component that is usually not common in the farm, but that is also very feasible. So Newcastle is a notifiable disease. Notifiable disease means it is a disease that once you encounter on your farm, you should immediately report to your vet, and your vet will report to the authorities available. This is because this disease can result in trade restrictions. So when there's an outbreak of, let's say, Newcastle, you might not be allowed to sell your birds or your eggs across the country. You might have to set up a surveillance around your area or your farm location so that we control and then limit the spread of the infection across countries. So Newcastle is one of the notifiable disease. It's a transboundary disease that needs to be taken care of and then met with the serious control measures that are required. Newcastle, just as Gumboro,
Hello, Doc.
has a high morbidity. Yeah, Da Costa.
Aha. I say, na all along na no na live no Facebook ne ni na mbayo. Afei na aba. Nti afei kra na ya start record views. Nti we dey mesre wa Doc. Man shasi.
All right.
Why mesre wa?
Okay. Hello and good evening, everyone. You are all welcome to today's session of Time with Dr. Tremin. This session began some 2-3 weeks ago, where we started with coccidiosis and then we followed up with Gumboro. This week we are treating Newcastle disease. And just as we always did in the previous discussions, we are going to talk about the disease itself, how the disease is transmitted, how to identify the disease. With regards to being a layman, the average farmer, how can you identify this disease? How do we treat this disease? How to control it? Some prevention protocols that we can use on our farm, and then some general recommendations, usually from VSD. So let's begin. What is Newcastle disease? Newcastle disease is a highly contagious viral disease that affects poultry and other bird species. This disease called Newcastle is of great economic importance. This is because it results in a lot of mortalities and it reduces productivity of your birds. So you notice that during periods when Newcastle disease is on the high, production usually goes down. Whenever the infection is out there, mortality goes up. And then once the farmer is losing eggs or losing birds, it results in economic losses. So this is a disease of economic importance. So please, Newcastle is a disease that we don't joke about with. It's a viral disease, just as Gumboro that we discussed last week. It is highly contagious, just like Gumboro, and it should be taken seriously. It is a disease that primarily affects the respiratory system. So last week, someone mentioned that some of his birds have been suffering from CRD, and he has done all forms of treatment, and it seems not to work. And that was the reason why we ended up talking about Newcastle this week. I suggested to him that Newcastle might be a differential of the CRD infection. And then we are seeing it here that CRD primarily affects the respiratory system. So going forward, we will see how it affects the respiratory system, how it affects the nervous system, and how it affects the digestive system. See, Newcastle is of economic importance or public health importance because of the fact that it results in a lot of economic losses in the form of mortalities and then reduced productivity. This is because once Newcastle comes on your farm, you might have a lot of mortalities, and then your production might come down. And this usually results in ban of trade transactions or trade exportations or transboundary transactions, because we usually export some of our birds and eggs across countries from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire or Cote d'Ivoire to Ghana, vice versa. But during periods of Newcastle infection and then let's say Gumboro, there's always a ban, and hence the farmer loses a lot of money since the farmer is not allowed to sell his eggs or his birds across the country. So hence it results in economic losses. Also, Newcastle is known to result in high morbidity and a high mortality cases. A lot of birds are easily affected with the disease, and then it usually results in lot of birds dying. Also, Newcastle results in reduced egg production and poor eggshell quality. So you notice that usually in your laying birds, after about 2-3 months of you not doing your Newcastle, there is a high tendency of your birds reducing or producing less for you, and then the eggshell quality becoming poor. You notice that you begin to have lots of soft shelled eggs, petications or patches, congratulated eggs on your farm. And these are all signs of Newcastle. Newcastle is a zoonotic disease, hence can be transmitted from animals to humans. So in severe cases, you can have the human beings, especially the handlers, the farm hands, those who are directly in contact with the birds, getting some form of eye infection or conjunctivitis. That's the most common form, but it can be worse when the infection is very severe. But at least in severe cases, we can have the conjunctivitis occurring in human beings, especially those who are early air. So infected birds usually share the virus through the air that they breathe. or nasal or respiratory discharges. So occasionally you realize that there's some mucus or some water coming out through the nostrils of your birds. These are ways where the Newcastle virus are spread. So with regard to the direct transmission, we have aerosol through the air. Another way where the disease is or the virus is transmitted or spread is through the environment. When you have a lot of wild birds coming onto your farm, wild birds may be carriers of the infection, sorry, but may not show signs of the infection in them. Wild birds may be carriers, but may not show signs of the infection in them. Also, once your feed is contaminated with the virus, the water you are providing, if it is contaminated with the virus, formite or mechanical transmission. In our previous lectures, we discussed that formites are inanimate objects that can enhance the proliferation, sustenance, and multiplication of pathogens. Examples are the feeders, the drinkers, any other thing apart from the animals or the birds you have on your farm that you use on the farm. So your boots can be formites, your drinkers can be formites, the sandals you use, anything you use, any inanimate object you use on your farm can be a formite. Also, we have mechanical transmission. This is where you, the human being, you end up transmitting the virus from your farm to other places. Sorry. You transmit the disease from your farm or the virus from your farm to other places. When you are going
Doc,
to
and
buy feed, you might be moving.
hello Doc.
Yeah, that goes that.
Yɛnkɔ commercial break na num nsuo kakra ɛ.
Agota, can you hear me?
Na me say yɛnkɔ commercial break na num nsuo kakra ɛ.
Okay. Today I'm not feeling too well, so I have a
Ah, okay.
uh,
Okay. But ode yɛntoa so.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nti ode yɛntoa so.
So we are talking about the environmental factors. When we have wild birds, contaminated feed, water, termites, and the mechanical transmission. The mechanical transmission has to do with you, the human being, being the one transmitting the virus from your farm to other places. So when you are going to buy your feed and then you don't change it to appropriate time, the system that you were using, you go straight to the feed mill to buy your feed. If your birds are infected with the Newcastle disease, you might be transmitting it to other places. Sorry. How do we identify the disease? The Newcastle disease presents in three main ways. We have the respiratory way, then most way and then the
Hello, Doc. I said, Olaini break you.
reason.
Hello.
Is it okay now?
O starting disease identification, no na. I say echo on and off.
Okay, with the disease identification again. With regards to the disease identification, the new
Wait me acha,
disease can
wait me
easily
acha
be
on kakra.
identified.
Wait me acha on
Okay,
kakra.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. Hello.
Emu ye.
All right. So now we are talking about how we can identify the disease, the Newcastle disease. We can identify the disease through three main ways. One, through the respiratory pathway, through the nervous pathway, and through the digestive pathway. With regards to the respiratory pathway, the birds will be showing signs of CRE. They will be sneezing, they will be coughing, they will be gasping for air, and they will be nasal discharges. These are signs that are quite similar to CRE. So it is quite easy for farmers to think that the birds are CRE, even though the disease might actually be Newcastle rather. So please, whenever your birds are showing signs of
Hello. I think say Doc a connection no and then yenya challenges kakra. Yenya some challenges kakra. Nti Doc asaba nti de yenhwe say ebetimi asa ato aso a.
so is that Potter?
Yeah, Doc.
Is that okay?
Network no, Emma a kati like sound in your kra.
Uh,
Mm.
is it okay now?
Mm. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
But emunye.
Uh, Let me try and connect again. And let's see.
Okay.
Let's go for a break right and then let me connect again.
Okay. Hello. Enuanom ne adɔfo. Asɛ ɛnɛ deɛ network ne sound ne adeɛ na ndi mboae mu. Pamkyɛw try a rectify nti mesrɛ wo a ɛnkyɛ doctor bɛsa aba na ɛnkyɛ ɔbɛsa aba but for now no sɛ wohu saa automatic drink away a ɔhu saa automatic drink away ɛhɛn Impuntu Farms ɛna Jokovet. Nti sɛ wopɛ the best automatic drinker on the market ɛma wo problem ɛwɔ farm this is the best one you can ever have. Nti all numbers na ɛtwa gu no wobɛtumi afrɛ wofrɛ a yɛbɛpɛ bi ama wo. Sɛ woyɛ deep liter nko adeɛ a this is the best automatic drinker to use. Balancing no yɛ accurate. Ɛnyɛ deɛ aboa ketewa koraa ho ka a na ɛhwie nsuo no gu. Daabi wei ɛnte saa. Ɛna ɛnliki. Ɔmo use this kind of automatic drinker no, they will tell you say they don't have any leakage on their farm and very solid, very durable. It will take you over 10 years koraa ansa na wasesa. Nti sɛ wopɛ bi a you can contact us, you can contact Impuntu Farms or you can contact Jokovet. We all have some and very affordable. Looking at the quality, no, the quality that this automatic drinker brings. Now compare with the price say you are getting value for money. And enche ye check doc network no enche obesa aba. But for the meantime, we hear automatic drinker ni bia. We hear we bia. I said you can contact Impuntu Farms or Jokovet Limited. Na yebe bi ama na also where you sue. Automatic drinking system ɛboa ɛyi ɔbrɛ bebree fi farmers so. And yes sir, every time, especially when you are doing layers, every time you need to bring water into the pen. And yes sir, ɛbɛma waso ayɛ hye paa. Nti yɛtwa yɛn ho kakra aba na yɛaba abɛtoa so. Hello. Nti yɛhwɛ sɛ doc mepakyɛw sisi a emu yɛ ana. Hello doc. Hello doc. Hello. I say still na dog network no. I say ya me my light off for baby nti think say network no, especially MTN my problems pa nti yɛnhwɛ. They say ebenya doka. because or so but
Hello.
dog.
Yeah.
After
Is
them
it
it's
okay
own cap.
now?
After them it's own cap.
That's why I really apologize.
Hello.
So because is the network okay?
Sisi ade muye.
Mm. Whether I'm strong, I'm fan me why not? But I'm quite so I'm coffee into reception nation that any strong or has into Mr. Mamu fan me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you let's continue with the disease identification.
Okay.
With regards to the disease identification, we have the respiratory, the nervous, and then the digestive. With regards to the respiratory, your animals will be sneezing, they will be gasping for air, they will be coughing, and then there will be nasal discharges. With regards to the nervous system, your animals can be paralyzed. They'll be twisting the neck. So who say local bears no? Who say do baby? About say, na mo mu twa mo ho saa, and that's what mo kon achia bi saa no. Eno ye ba brofu kasa mu a ye friend no torticollis. Eno no it's a nervous sign. Both and one, especially local bears no eta ye omo saa. Both and no mu twa mo saa no what ahwe. And then the third one is the digestive one na obi who say mmoa toilet na green na or see Newcastle no. So the third sign is the greenish watery stool no. So there are three main ways. There is the respiratory. Respiratory, they will show signs of CRD. They will be coughing, they will be sneezing, they will be showing nasal discharges. Into when you're careful, because CRD na ham one, but A B na Newcastle mom. Both of one more all the CRD treatment, but still it's not working. So always consult with your vet and then see how best to go about it. With regards to the nervous system, there will be paralysis, there will be twisting of the neck, and then they will be circling of the bed. Both of one much almost no more call chacha. Or the kind of crown and then the greenish too or the digestive infection and you'll be any man. Obi hu sɛ ne mmoa no ɔmo toilet na ɛkɔ green na ɔsɛ ɛne Newcastle na ɛyɛ mmoa no. Also, in laying birds, no one say Newcastle ne ba as ɔmo ato no aba fam. And then all of a sudden, ɔmo kɔsia shells no, the eggshells no are not that tough or strong anymore. They are very soft. And the both kɔsia na nka ɔsɛ ɛyɛ oval shaped and oblong shaped no. Both now we have different shapes. These are all signs of Newcastle. Okay, so you as a farmer, no, this can be a form of identification to you, so that it will help you in the way forward. I thought as we wrap on both now, some of the birds are dead. They didn't show any signs of infection. They just died, or there's loss of appetite. You provide them enough feed and water, but they are not eating, they are not drinking. And then there's swelling around the eyes and then the neck. To where say because there's swelling into you might think say it is coryza. Because usually it is in coryza na you tell who swelling around the eyes. Into who ni ma because oh one in your coryza. But na a bia it is Newcastle rather and not Coriza. Tienye bibia na hu ye na oh emu ana omani aso anti e Coriza derby. Even Newcastle can present to you in the form of swelling now winya on around the eyes. No? Okay. So these are some of the ways that we can identify the Newcastle disease. So as I said, there are three main ways: respiratory. With regard to the respiratory, there will be sneezing, there will be gasping for air, there will be coughing, there will be nasal discharges, and these are quite similar to CRD. Also, there may be nervous signs. The birds may be depressed. There may be tremors. The birds will be shaking. There may be paralysis. Both are one that on kind of and also that most are one the corn achia that's called torticollis. And then they'll be circling. This one's usually seen in the local birds. Those are one on one no much on they are just going round like that. These are signs of Newcastle. And then usually the common ones we all know is the digestive one. There is the greenish watery stools. Okay. And then in laying birds, you'll be getting poor egg production. All viral diseases cannot be treated. The best thing you can do is to manage the disease. Now we are talking about treatment protocols for Newcastle disease. You can't treat Newcastle disease, but you can manage it. And usually what we do is to give antibiotic vitamins. This is to help take care of the secondary bacteria that may occur in the birds. So drugs like tetracolivate, drugs like pen strip, drugs like oxivate are good examples that you can use. And as I mentioned, Newcastle disease is zoonotic. It means it can affect human beings. And usually in human beings, it will result in conjunctivitis. Conjunctivitis, both when you say no, I say there's some inflammation over there under the eyelids. I hear red, both when you say I hear red, no. That's a common sign of the zoonotic form of the disease. So you can't treat viral disease. The best you can do is to manage the secondary bacterial infection. The next one is control protocols. Once the infection occurs on your farm, you can't clear it from there, but you can only manage it, control it, so that you reduce the risk of it spreading from one farm or from one pen to control it, but you can't treat it. So with regards to the control measures, it's just like as we did in Gumboro, because Gumboro is also a viral infection. The best you can do is
Doc, I think you are off again. And mm, hello, hello, hello.
consistent. Hello, Rakosa. Yeah,
Oko
hello.
off now. Yeah, Oko off. Oh.
Okay. So now we are talking about the control measures. Is it okay now?
Uh, Still,
Still.
yeah. not really clear.
Because yeah, I went to the farm to do vaccination. See, after I'm now quite so I'm going home. I didn't really get home on time, so I'm still on
Okay.
the way going home. Anything I said, I don't know. The reception is quite bad. No,
Mm.
is it okay now?
Okay. 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 We
And
can
so
continue.
today, yeah, guys, please bear with me. I'm very sorry, but I'm still in transit. I'm now going home. Okay, so now we are talking about the control measures, and this is quite similar to the one we discussed about Gumboro. So you have to ensure strict compliance to your biosecurity measures, restrict access to your farms, and this will be a about farm on because you never know where the person is coming from. Ensure that your disinfection is on point. It is will be about farm honum now. Make sure they clean themselves, they put on the appropriate apparel, they wash themselves, before they are allowed to enter your farm. With disinfection, we are not just talking about water. There should be disinfectant like Patholite, like Omnicide, like Quinside in your water. We are not just talking about water, no. And then whenever you see sick birds, please isolate them, separate them from the pen so that you reduce the spreading of the disease because the sick bird or the carrier no, may be sharing the virus all along. So if you don't immediately remove the sick bird or the carriers now, you might do all the treatment, but the sick birds may still be transmitting the infection over there. Since Newcastle is a notifiable disease, once you see some of these signs, immediately talk to your vet because the vet is supposed to report to his municipal vet and then to be directed to the National Veterinary Council so that we know how to control and then reduce the spread of the disease. Because when we're talking about how the disease is, we mentioned that it is a transboundary disease, and hence, during such periods, you are not allowed to sell your birds or eggs to other countries. The main ways by which we prevent Newcastle or any viral infection and vaccination. So make sure that on your farm there is strict hygiene protocols such as controlling visitor access, cleaning and disinfecting your poultry houses, preventing the introduction of new or infected birds, and then some of the disinfectants you can use are Quinside, Omnicide, D4 are very good disinfectants in your biosecurity measures, and it will help to reduce the infection on your farm. Also, you have to vaccinate your birds regularly. Make sure you adhere to
Hello, Doc. Um, Hello,
You finish? Hello.
Doc.
Yeah, Dakosa.
What's that call awful?
Eh. Okay, so let me talk about the prevention again.
Okay.
So the main ways by which we prevent the disease is through biosecurity and then vaccination. With regards to biosecurity, you ensure that there are strict hygiene protocols on your farm. You regulate how visitors or other people visit your farm. You reduce access of other people to your farm. You continually clean and disinfect your equipment. And some of the disinfectants you can use are Omnicide D4. The next way you can prevent the disease on your farm is through vaccination. Ensure to go by the VSD or the manufacturer or the supplier chart. Vaccines you can use are I2 Lasota Cloneti. Hello,
Doc.
hello, Dagosta.
Doc.
Hello,
Doc. Metonka.
yeah, okay. So those were the prevention measures. So there are two main ways: biosecurity and then vaccination. And then just a few recommendations. Always ensure disinfection before, during, and then after each phase of production. Comply to the appropriate vaccination schedule, either by VSD or what your manufacturer or the supplier is telling you. And then whenever you buy the vaccine, ensure you maintain the cold chain as much as possible. Ensure proper disposal of the carcass and then litter management, because the virus can proliferate in the carcass and then your litter. Always buy your best from trusted sources, because you are sure that from trusted sources some of these vaccinations might have been done for you, or there might be maternal antibodies that might be passed on from the parent stock to the young birds. Okay, so in general, this is what Newcastle has to do with. And by way of a summary, let me just quickly go over everything. I know my reception has been very poor today, but let me just go back and then go through everything quickly, and then we'll see if we can grasp a few things. So Newcastle, as I said, is a highly contagious viral infection. It affects poultry and then other species. It affects the respiratory system, the nervous system, and then the digestive system. It's a notifiable disease. Hence, once you notice on your farm, immediately report to your vet, and then he will pass on the information to the authorities, the municipal vet, the regional vet, and then it will get to the regional veterinary officer. Newcastle has a rate of morbidity and a high rate of mortality. So a lot of birds can be infected with the infection at a time, and then there might be high mortality cases. In laying birds, It can result in poor egg production, shelled eggs, or poor egg quality. This is of great public health or economic importance. This is because the farmer might lose a lot of birds, or the birds might be producing a lot of eggs that he might not be able to sell. Or worst case scenario, the birds might not be producing very good eggs that might be fit for the market. Newcastle might have a zoonotic component and hence can affect human beings, and hence biosecurity is very important so as to mitigate or reduce or control the spread of the infection from animals to human beings. It is primarily transmitted through the air. So through the air that the birds breathe, through the nasal discharges, by way of coughing, the birds can spread it to other birds, and then the disease might persist on the farm. Also, if wild birds are easily allowed or get access to your farm, they can easily bring the infection to your farm. This is because wild birds can be carriers of the infection. They might not be affected by the infection, but they might be carrying the virus to your farm. Also, contaminated feed, water, fomites, and then mechanical transmission can occur. These viruses can latch onto your foot, your boots, your attire, and then you'll be walking about in town spreading the infection without knowing. You can identify the disease through three main ways: through the respiratory pathway, through the nervous pathway, and then the digestive pathway. With regards to the respiratory pathway, the birds might be sneezing, they might be coughing, they might be gasping for air, and there might be nasal discharges. And all these are signs of the common infection that we all know as CRD. So if you are not careful, you might confuse this Newcastle infection with the disease called CRD. Also, there may be nervous signs such as depression, tremors, paralysis, twisting of the neck. The scientific term is torticollis, and then circling. The birds will be moving about. You realize that your birds might just be going around, and then with their necks or their heads twisted. The next one, you realize that there's greenish watery diarrhea, and this one is the most common sign that we all know. So whenever a farmer sees greenish watery diarrhea, they think it's Newcastle. But in laying birds, you'll be seeing signs like decreased egg production, soft shelled eggs, and malformed eggs. There might be loss of appetite and swelling around the eyes. And then farmers might
Doc, hello, Doc. Hello.
can affect human beings with with control of the disease. You have to ensure biosecurity, continuous disinfection, and then you isolate sick birds. With regards to the prevention, you have to ensure proper biosecurity measures, vaccination.
Doc, sir, yɛnte wo nka bio mu. Hello, Doc. Ooh. Okay, so and then we are having so much challenges, but things say yɛbɛhwɛ na okay, so Doc is back. Hello, Doc.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So today I feel the network has been very bad
Yeah.
and then unfair to us, but maybe I
Mm,
might have to go over it again later on during the week. But
okay.
today I don't know, my reception has been very poor. I'm currently
Mm,
I'm currently going back from the farm. I went to the farm today and then the reception has been very poor. So
and
let's
see,
go in
Doc.
for questions and then
And see. So now, if because I think because of the network, we didn't really get a lot of people joining. Like they came and went back. So let me just see if we can get people to ask questions. If you want to ask any question, we have a link on the Impuntu Farms Facebook comment section. So the comment section, there is a link there. You can click on the link and join. When you join, you just enter studio. When you enter studio, then I'll just bring you on to come and ask your question. If you have any question to ask Doc before we go, because even today the network has been very bad. So if you have any question, please click on the link and join us right now. Let us see you right now. Sɛ wopɛ sɛ wobisa asɛm biara link na a yɛde ato Facebook ne YouTube no wobɛtumi aklike link ne so. Woklike link ne so pɛ ɛbɛkyerɛ yɛ sɛ wopɛ sɛ wɔyɛ dɛ wobisa question nti wobɛba baabi a ɛwɔ yi wobɛtumi ahyow w'anim na waba abɛbisa asɛm a wopɛ sɛ wobisa. Nti yɛma just 3 minutes. Sɛ obiara njoin ne deɛ a then we know say ɛnɛ obiara nni question about Newcastle. Na kyerɛ sɛ we'll just pause here na yɛatoa so na may aduma next week. So we have just about 3 minutes. So if you have any question, kindly join, click on the link. Mm, The link has been pinned on the comment section. So you can just join in. I think say and the question be any nti I suggest say nyame yɛ adom a next week no yɛ start a anka yɛbɛ allow bɛyɛ 5 minutes for questions on this week Newcastle na
All right. So you next week. I think today the recession hasn't really been good. So I'll do a very short and brief recap before our next topic for next week, so that at
okay,
least we get the concept. But
okay.
today
I think
I
say
really apologize because when I'm cancelled and then the recession has been very poor.
nipa baako aba dɔk wo dɛ me Dennis Asante Afu. Dennis, I think you have a question. Let us
Okay.
hear you.
So, good evening. Yeah, my question is I wanted to ask if the birds are laying, the Newcastle, are we supposed to repeat? And if so, what's the duration? And are we supposed to use the new Kavak or the Lasota? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So
Doc,
I didn't really get the name, but that's a very important question. So
okay.
after 16 weeks, you are supposed to repeat the Newcastle between a range of 1 to 3 months. So between every 1 to 3 months, you are supposed to repeat the Newcastle, okay? And then at 16 weeks, at all costs, you should use the Newcavac, the injection. However, subsequently, the best one you should use is the one that you mix in the water. So Lasota, I2, Clone 30. These are the best ones after you've done the one you did at 16 weeks. This is because in laying birds, the stress of catching them and then doing the vaccination will result in egg peritonitis or egg bound. Both the Kosian Bebo or Mayem. So even though you are trying to help them by doing the Newcastle vaccination, o person ye Newcavac now, o che bears no ebi wo hon ma Kosian Bebo or Mayem no mewu. So after why 16 weeks, the best one you are supposed to use is the one that you mix in the water. That is I2, Lasota, and then Clone 30. These are some of the vaccines you can use. So you should decide, say, okay, for me on my farm, I'll do it every 1 month. Maybe I'm more I2 or Lasota, or every 2 months. But whatever duration you choose, it shouldn't go beyond 3 months. Okay. The range is between 1 month to 3 months. Any other question?
Yeah, so, Doc, when it goes beyond that duration, what's going to happen? Is it going to affect them or?
Hello?
Yeah, Doc.
Hello?
Yeah, I am asking that if it goes beyond the duration, are the birds going to be affected?
Yes. So the Newcastle is an endemic infection.
Hello.
Okay. We have it in a where it is resulting in an infection. Okay. So the infection might be there. That's the more reason why we expect you to do it within the 1 to 3 months. Even after 1 week or 2 weeks, the birds might even have the infection. However, the treatment is to help in the control of the infection. Okay. Okay. We have it in a where it is resulting in an infection. Okay. So the infection might be there. The more reason why we expect you
Hello.
to do it within the 1 to 3 months.
Uh,
But the treatment is to the control of the.
hello, Dennis. Say, Doc, answer, Anna.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 So, doc, you ever last person now for next week you to us? Maxi.
Yes, Doc, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Doc, good evening. Yes, my question is greenish pool no. Newcastle nko ara na de saa science no ɛma wo anaasɛ there are some other things bi a you should consider. Ɛna afei nso
Okay.
so no sɛ wohu greenish pool no a must you look out for the other signs, respiratory ni other signs no ansa na watumi conclude sɛ ɛyɛ Newcastle anaasɛ greenish pool no nso bɛtumi ayɛ ade foforɔ.
All
Me
right.
question no.
So thank you very much. Okay. So greenish too no is not pathognomonic. So last we discussed when you hear pathognomonic now, it's a classical sign I wouldn't prepare. A trace say yare we die onye hu eno a trace say. But greenish too no there, that's the common one that we usually use as lay farmers no or laymen no. However, nyama e betumi cause greenish too say one wo mycotoxicosis ebi asɛ mmoa no ɔmo di fam eburo na ɔde mo ɔmo no fresh maize ɛnyɛ dry maize say humidity no wɔ high this can result in greenish too. Say mmoa no ɔmo ndidi it can result in greenish too. Okay, so this one we are only focusing on Newcastle. So I'm just telling you some of the signs that you see here. You can assume or think say it can be Newcastle. Okay, and then as part of the control measures, I added say always consult your vet. To onobana or check no who are
Hello, doc. I say, is there any sign to cabin? It's you there. Since hello,
to be track as oh okay be a Newcastle.
doc. Hello,
Farmer using Newcastle or not.
doc.
Please, is it okay?
Doc, who call crowd? Like, ne, and so on.
Hello.
Who call off crowd? Ne, and say, doc.
Hello.
Yeah, doc, me
Is it
talk
clear
about
now?
who call off. And he said, clear.
Okay, so I'm saying say with greenish too no any Newcastle oh, Newcastle a greenish too occurring. Okay. So when the animals are not eating, you can have it. When there is mycotoxicosis and also another infection, you can have it. Say emwano omudi letana and as I say nsuo so hono na mwane so you can have the greenish too. So greenish too is not just a classical sign for Newcastle, no, but other diseases like mycotoxicosis, the animals not eating of fresh maize, eating of the litter can all result in greenish tools. Okay. And then I added as
Okay,
part of the control measures, they say always talk to your vet. Once you talk to your vet, he will be able to tell you, say, okay, oh, okay, based on this, and then ABR postmortem, yeah, you know, there's a high likelihood, say, in Newcastle, no more prescribe ABR drugs amount. Okay. Greenish to the, I know na a common one are farmers use, but that is not the only sign of Newcastle. Please, is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. Yeah, clear, pa. Yeah, clear. Okay. Nti, doc, ɛbɛda wase na ɛnɛ deɛ asɛ yɛ network and yɛ. We didn't really have uh, enjoyment with regards to ɛnɛ program, but as you said, next week we can go over and we'll take the questions and we will add something small for the following topic that we'll be doing. And as I said, if you are into deep litter farming, you should get one of these. This is automatic drinking system. You can get one of these from Jokovet or Impuntu Farms. We have these drinkers available. Very, very durable, and it can even last for about 15 years because of their durability, and very affordable as well. So if you need this kind of automatic drinking system, it doesn't have any problems. Zero. It's say upebia. If you want some, please, you can contact us. There is a number, and also, Doc, would you want to put your number across so that Obia or person or contact will be Anna or contact you? Hello, hello. Okay, I think say if Doc network nene there I'm wire. So we will end here, but we promise that next week we will go over the Newcastle and yaji questions because and then we didn't really enjoy it because of the network that was affecting us. So please, next week we'll do well to go over again and try to take questions with regards to the Newcastle. So thank you for watching us today. Stay blessed. Bye bye.